As the hunt for Gaddafi goes on, another battle, the battle to build a new Libya, is now underway. This is Inside Story. Hello, I'm James Bays in the Libyan capital, Tripoli, a city that has changed so much in under 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, this was Gaddafi's capital, his stronghold. Now, though, he's no longer here. This square where I'm standing was called Green Square for more than 41 years. Now it's been given its original name, Martyrs Square. That rampart up there, that's where Gaddafi made one of his speeches during the war. Now he's on the run. The new rulers of this city and this country, the National Transitional Council. Its Prime Minister, Mahmoud Jibril, has finally returned here to Tripoli, but he faces a host of challenges. Just listen to the people.
I will not say it's a chaos, but we have a lot of work to do. And we want to see Mahmoud Jibril more here in Libya, in Tripoli, to run the country, rather than going around seeing him in the CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC. We want to see him here, especially today. Plenty of people are coming here today. We want to see him. Yeah, we liberated Libya, but it's not time now to, give up our open, including my own. I have my own, but I'm willing to give my own, but we need to organize.
Now, the real battle, the real fight is now. We have to fight to build Libya in the right way, the right direction, to build a new strong country with a democratic and free constitution and everything as all top world countries and modern countries.
The views of some of the people I was speaking to earlier on the streets here in Tripoli. Now let's get the views of our panel on the situation. And joining us we have Alamin Belhaj, who's a member of the National Transitional Council in Tripoli, Anas Al-Gumati, who's a political analyst, and also joining us Mohammed Swedan, a former flight engineer, now retired and a resident of Tripoli. Let me start by asking each of you the same question, and that is this, if I start with you, Mr. Belhaj. It was a very swift victory here in Tripoli. Is there the danger, as your Prime Minister has said, of complacency now?
First, thank you, James, and thank you, Al Jazeera. It's a good opportunity to represent NTC, or the view of myself. Of course, the moment of the liberation on the 20th of August was more than expected. It was faster than we expected. It was safer than expected. Thanks God. Of course, people after any such kind of victory became such kind of complacent. I think most of the people in Tripoli believe that the victory has been achieved, but another strife, another challenges are in front of us, and we have to work, all of us, toward these challenges.
Anas, is that the way you see it? The war not over yet?
Yes, I'd echo that view. I think, in essence, that we arrived in Tripoli, there's a sense of euphoria in the air, though there are definite signs of people speaking their minds now, and this is people that have been blocked out of their own history for 42 years almost. So you can imagine the level of grievances that are now being aired, and there's a sense of urgency in the air. So they're definitely, within the people themselves, I mean, there's definitely a thirst in the in the air for now for there's a sense of justice, of movement, of getting things back to normality. I would like to mention, obviously, that it's a crazy occurrence that we're living in the 21st century in a capital city somewhere in the Middle East without a functioning state or government. And testimony to the Libyan people themselves, they're still functioning, and there are checkpoints, and the security is quite well. So so far so good.
Mohammed, people are speaking their minds now, some of them even speaking out against the National Transitional Council. Is that a good thing, or should everyone get behind this interim leadership?
My opinion is to get behind this leadership, and I think it is the ideal for us at the time being. They are all honest people, and I'm sure that they are here for the cause of Libya, and they are really the people, if we want to choose, we wouldn't choose better than them. They are really the people of the hour, for Libya to start building it up again, you know. And they are honest people. They are religious people who respect everybody and respect the people, and we cannot ask for more, you know.
Mr. Belhaj,
Yes.
people are watching the scenes from Libya all around the world.
Sure.
Let's get your first-hand experience, though, and view of the situation right now. Tell us what's your view of Tripoli first. How safe is Tripoli? How normal is Tripoli now?
I think everybody moves in the streets of Tripoli, feels every day things getting better and better. For example, in the Liberation Day, maybe we have hundreds of checkpoints. Now we have just tens of checkpoints. Just 4 days after the Liberation Day, shops opened, banks opened, petrol station opened. And that is amazing. That's something that more than we expected. So I think things in Tripoli getting much better. Also the other cities like now, I think Ben Walid and Sirfish are the 2 cities we are just waiting for the moment of liberation. I think it will be very soon, not more than few days. Sibha also, yesterday I heard a lot of news from inside Sibha. I think things in Tripoli and other cities getting better, and the freedom of all Libya is just in our hands.
And Asal Gamati, do you agree with that assessment? It's certainly getting better, but is it this current calm, a bit deceptive?
I think it is quite deceptive. I'd actually have to say that if we look at the moment of liberation in Benghazi, 6-7 months on, we can still find that there are remnants of the old regime that are still operating there. There must be, security among citizens has always been very high. There is no, Libyans are no stranger to having a state that did nothing for them for 42 years. So, stories of Libyans building roads, doing things on their own, I mean, that's all fair and well. But the ex-regime members, the members of the revolutionary committees, Lajna Tawariya, that are still operating in Libya, that are still around, what is commonly known as the fifth column, this will be a challenge for the NTC going forward. It's something that must now be nipped in the bud. I mean, obviously, it's something that we can't let go out and be complacent with. So, I mean, that's a real challenge.
Mohammed, are you frightened of the fifth column? Do you think that some of Gaddafi's loyalists are waiting to fight another day?
Actually, frightening is a big word, but I think we should be cautious of these people. They don't have a cause to fight for. We have a cause to fight for, and they really. What I think is that they are now seeking a way to hide or to save their lives. That's all. Because, as I said, they don't have the cause to fight for. And the majority of the population of Libya are supporting the revolution, and they have been waiting for it. So they will demolish and they will not be such a harm for the revolution. I think we will conquer them and destroy them, whatever they will be.
Yes, go on.
I have just one comment about the fifth column, Lajna Tawariya, where they're working in Benghazi and now in Tripoli. In Benghazi, they were working and thinking that the regime is still there. The regime is still in the capital. The regime is still in many cities. But nowadays, the story is totally different. The Lajna Tawariya today, every day, they hear that some of the highest ranks of the officers in the military, in the police, in the government, they are just surrendering. So it's totally different from now what was happening in Benghazi. I think the revolutionary communists, Lajna Tawariya, the fifth columns, they are not having any hope to stay. Of course, they may do some disturbance, but I think they don't have anything to do here.
And that's true, but apart from some places, like Bani Walid,
Yes.
like Sirte, they've still got power in those places.
Even those on the side, it really is a two-way conversation with members of the old regime. Not only do they feel scared, but people feel fundamentally violated and angry. And if that spills over, and if people go in trying to take law into their own hands, then obviously we have an issue of security on our hands. So it also is the fact that they're just there. If they're just at home and a Libyan citizen feels completely violated against for 42 years, then he may take it into his own power to go there. On the subject of Bani Walid and Sirte and Sabha, these are places that have, I would not say the majority of these two places, but people must realise that substantial patronage was given to these three areas, which is why now we're, I wouldn't call it a stalemate, but a standoff in essence. You know, they wouldn't, even the people that have no blood on their hands, no corruption, would not welcome the NTC in, on the assumption that this revolution, whilst it's coming with happiness, a sense of euphoria, liberation, emancipation, it's also coming with the same hand of we've been violated, we've felt injustice for 42 years. People are scared. So we must also answer to these questions as well. So the people that are living in Beni Walid, that have had and felt substantial patronage from Gaddafi over 42 years, there must be a sense of justice there. So I mean, if we're talking about the overall picture of reconciliation, it really is striking a balance between justice and reconciliation. You know, what do we do with remnants of the old regime? How do we deal with them? I mean, is it just about blood in their hands, or is it about corruption as well? So these are the kind of issues that, whilst they seem to be about, you know, very flavoured, very theoretical issues, can very, very quickly, you know, evolve into something quite dangerous and quite violent.
Mohammed, can you discuss any of those issues and start rebuilding Libya while Gaddafi and some of his sons are still at large?
I think we should ignore his existence for the time being. You know, he doesn't mean anything to us, and of course we will look after him till we get him, because he should be returned to justice. You know, and have take him to a court. You know. But we have more important things than this. We should look forward and go ahead to build our country, which he took from us 42 years ago. And he killed the ambition in us, and he tried to destroy us in every aspect. Now it's up to us people to prove to the world, and not to him. We prove to the world that we are the people of Libya who can build this country, and show them that we are the real people of Libya, not Gaddafi. If I may say one thing, you know, I regret, and I'm sorry to say this, all the world leaders, they were giving him all these prestiges and all these things for such a man like him. You know, I don't know why. You know, this is something really ridiculous, and it puts them down. You know, like Tony Blair and the others who came to him here. You know, and you know what he used to say about them? He said that they are here to as a pilgrimage. You know, they come to his tent. You know, this man is sick, and he's not even. I mean, I don't even want to say that he's a human being. You know, he's a monster. You know, I don't know why these people had even talk to him or shake hands with him. You know.
Alamin Belhaj from the NTC. Yes. The NTC and some of your senior officials, Mr. Tahouni, who's your finance minister, a few days ago, told me that he knows exactly where Gaddafi is. Why don't you go after him and deal with him now?
I'm not sure of that statement. Of course, Dr. Tahouni knows better than me, but from my contacts with the military council, with the others, I think Gaddafi is moving from one place to another place. And most probably, people in Libya believe that he is in the border of somewhere, in the border. I mean, if he just feels that he will be captured, then he will move to another country. Because I think Gaddafi cannot stay in Sirte, he cannot stay in Beni Walid while these two cities are isolated. So I feel that he is not in Beni Walid, he is not in Sirte. Maybe he is not in Sibha, maybe he is in the far west. But I just want to comment to what Brother Mohammed, I agree with Mohammed that we Libyans should think forward and leave Gaddafi behind, because Gaddafi really he is behind now. We are in the capital is free, most of the Libya is free. We should think how to start building Libya. And another point which you said, James, is about the challenges. I think there was no revolution at all in history without challenges, without problems, without concerns. Libya, I think the Libyan revolution is little challenges, little. For example, I expected at least in Tripoli that will be bloodshed, there will be fighting inside the streets, but I think God saved us, and thanks God that we just entered Tripoli. I entered with a very big brigade from the mountains, and people shouting for us until we reached the center here.
A mood of euphoria, but I'm beginning to notice some people in Nasser not so happy now. There seem behind the scenes even to be some divisions among the National Transitional Council, and with some of those fighters, we used to call them the rebel fighters, some of those commanders had a great deal of autonomy on the battlefield. They're now having to work together, and it seems to be a bit uneasy. Is that your view?
Well, to build a credible, an accountable and a strong government moving forward, which, the sense of security can be broken very, very easily, I wouldn't push this straight onto the NTC. I think this is really the job of the Libyan people themselves, and it's the balance is in our hands as Libyan people, as citizens. We can risk removing everything that we've fought for now by trying to take the law into our own hands. There must be a credible, strong, legitimate contract between the governor and the governed, and that means giving up some of your own liberties. It means giving up, vital things that have been encroached upon for 42 years. I wouldn't go as far as saying that perhaps there are strong divisions between the NTC. I think they're still riding on the euphoria of having beaten Gaddafi. Though moving forward, the challenges of building out, the challenges of understanding who did what over the past 42 years, we can't move forward until we get some psychological closure, and that will be a key issue, I think. So I mean, not only Gaddafi. I mean, Gaddafi is really the personality which everyone has revolved around for such a long time. But there are people that are living in their houses now in Tripoli that have not been caught, and these are the real issues. People from the old regimes, people that are working within the NTC perhaps that have blood on their hands, that have been accused of corruption, and the Libyan people have commended someone like Mustafa Abdul Jalil as saying that he will go on trial for his years of service. This is something it strikes a chord with the Libyan people, and I mean, yeah, go ahead.
So no, just one minute, because you said that some of the NTC members has bloodshed in their hands. I mean, sorry?
Yeah, he said this.
Yes,
yeah,
I think that is. I am sure that's not true. Some of the NTC members, yes, worked with the previous regime, and most of the Libyans worked with the previous regime. No one can tell me that, okay, all the free Libyans have not worked with the regime. That's not the reality.
But there is criticism of some of the leadership. Mustafa Abdul Jalil, who is basically the head of state of this country, still hasn't come to Tripoli. And I'm hearing people who are saying, why is he still in Benghazi?
Yes. Oh, for this question especially, because I can say I am the first member came to Tripoli, and from the first day Mustafa Abdul Jalil told me that I am coming to Tripoli, so just to prepare for it. Is it because he is the head of the state, and we know that when Abdul Jalil comes here, I think the security for the place of the NTC and his accommodation should be done perfectly. Our problem is that we don't have a certain management for the security for the NTC, because the management of the NTC was in Benghazi, and we don't have such a management team in Tripoli. So we try to prepare for the security and for the accommodation for the NTC. That is the problem.
But we're talking about one man. You must be able to find accommodation and security for the man who's effectively your head of state.
The problem is that we have many proposals here in Tripoli, and try to investigate each proposal by itself, from the suitability of the accommodation and for security of the accommodation. As I said many times, we try to don't repeat the problem or the mistake in Benghazi, where all the security forces, all the police forces vanished on the day of liberation of Benghazi, and up till now we don't have such kind of restore all these forces. In Tripoli, from the very first day, we thought that no, we should try to penetrate from the police, from the security, from the intelligence, who we believe that they were Libyans and they were free Libyans, and many of us contacted us.
Security services, sorry, Mr. Hajman, the security services in Libya have terrorized people in Libya for 42 years. It's not to say that everyone has been accused of this.
Not everyone.
But we need, as Libyan people, they need, and myself included, psychological closure. It's not about Gaddafi as much as Mohammed mentioned. He's marginalised now. He's irrelevant. The relevance now are the people that have made life a living hell for people in 42 years.
Can I ask Mohammed this question? Where do you draw the line? Because Gaddafi was here for more than 41 years. Everyone had some dealing with the regime.
Yes, everyone has some dealing with the regimes, but I draw the line in who his hands are has blood in his hands, or corruption. I mean, inherited the Libyan people in a way or another. They should be go on trial, regardless whoever they are. For your question earlier, if I may comment about Mr. Abdul Jalil coming to Tripoli, we are not in a hurry. He is welcome anytime, but we really want him at the time when he is really safe, and we are sure 100% the town is secured. My opinion, I think the town is secured to a certain extent, but we don't want to give anything to chance. this revolution, I'm sure it has succeeded, and we don't want any upsets. You know,
Mr. Belhaj, in future, where do you draw the line, though?
Yes.
Who do you prosecute, and who do you include?
I think it's not just a very clear line. You cannot say in this line above it should be put injustice. It is something we have to judge. We have certain factors we have to take in consideration. First, everyone who has a bloodshed in his hands, of course, it's been put there. It should be never thought that he can return safely. He should be put in prison, and he should be put in justice. The second thing, the most senior people who are maybe not military, not police, but they are working in the state, like the prime minister, the ministers, all of them should not return away. But for the others, I think no one will be excluded from being injustice, because every Libyan has the right to go to the court and ask for anyone who has harmed him in any way to put in prison. But if we just put all who worked with the regime, they will not be allowed to work for Libya. I think it is not the right statement. Musa Abdel was the Minister of Justice, and he is now the leader of the revolution. Myself, I know, I just comment on this, many of the security people, they are working with the revolution the very day. From the very first day, they are working they just took their ranks away and they worked with the revolutions. Yes. Even they don't ask for these titles or ranks. They worked as a normal people. They were led by civil people. So these people are with us with the revolution. So why we exclude them? I met with them here. Some of them, they are working day and night for the revolution.
Well, we're coming near the end of our show, so before we go, I want to get your views of the future. What sort of Libya do you think we're talking about, Mr. Belhaj?
Yes.
Particularly the role of Islam. What's this country going to look like? Is it going to look like Turkey or Saudi Arabia?
Let me give you first my answer. It looks like Libyan, not necessary to be related to any other country. Okay, we will benefit from not only Saudi, not from Turkey. We will benefit from all the humanity, all the countries around the world. I think I have 4 reasons to say that we can.
Well, quick, because I want everyone to have a last say. Just give us the main reason.
Okay, first, Libya has the human resources, has the capital resources, has the opportunity, and has the will.
Okay. Anas and Mohammed, I want your vision of this country in 5 years' time. If I come here in 5 years' time and ask what's Libya going to look like?
Well, a discourse is emerging between Islamism, secularism, all these great things. It's a healthy discourse. Muslims themselves, I feel the Libyans themselves want to have Islam to play a part in their future. It's not about it being an imperialist territorial project, but something much more, a sense of justice really in their lives.
Mohammed, what's Libya going to look like?
if you come back in after 5 years' time, you'll find every Libyan smiling.
Every Libyan will be smiling.
Every Libyan will be smiling.
Okay, that's good.
What sort of country will it be?
If they are smiling, what do you think the country will be? It will be in a really good country in every aspect, prosperity, and they will be living in peace with among themselves and with their neighbors, and it will be really an ideal country to have business with and to live in. And
we end on an optimistic note as we hear the call to prayer. Thank you to our guests, Alamin Belhaj, Anas Al Gamati, and Mohammed Swedan. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you so much for joining us on this programme today, live from Tripoli. Any thoughts you have about the programme, please send it to insidestory@aljazeera.net. See you soon. Bye-bye.